So today's video, we are going to discuss how to do a body recomposition in 10 weeks. This is a client result that has just finished, an international result actually, the first Gorilla Platoon international transformation coming all the way from Australia. So we're going to talk through it, spoke about what he did well, what changes we made on the plan to get to the result in the 10-week time frame. It is 2047, if you work on it, that means nearly 9 o'clock on a Saturday evening, and there is nothing else I'd rather be doing right now, so the date can wait until we've finished and we've given the goods, because this is all that really matters, boys, that we know how to get in the best shape of our fucking lives. This video is going to be very relevant to you if you can look at his physique at the start and think, I can relate very similar to that. This is a physique where you could say, I know he's around 15% body fat in the photo on the left. So if this is where you're sitting, this video is going to be very, very useful to you. If you are sitting a little bit higher, this video will still be useful because you're going to understand how we got to the result in the end time frame, which looks pretty darn fucking decent. So enjoy this video. I've done many result reviews on how we get to them, but each client is different because you human beings are all different people, so you all bring something good to the party. I learn every time we go through something new as well, and we get to give that back to you. So we will roll into the video. If you're new to the channel, this is your first video watching, welcome. My name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like what we're talking about today. My promise to you is that by the end of the video, you'll know how to do a body recomposition in 10 weeks, which is a pretty fucking useful tool to have, to tell you the truth, especially if you've got a big event coming up that's about 10 weeks away. So we needed to first assess his start point. His start point is made up of his current body composition. So his scale weight and also the amount of body fat he's carrying. I knew his scale weight because he told me it was 69 kg, and the body fat that we worked out was 15%. I've honestly done multiple videos on how to work out your body fat and the tools I use to do it, even in the last video. I won't disrupt from the flow of this video to do that now. I'll just explain that he is 15% body fat. I know this because of seeing a lot of torsos because this is my day job, but also by using the method and the calorie calculator that I've got that gets us these level of information. But you can see not that much body fat is carried. We can see the outline structure of where the abs would be, quite a bit of adipose tissue sat around here, and obviously we need to bring up the arms as well. So his initial setup, we wanted to put him in a slight deficit, but not a very big one, because remember, we want to leave enough food to drive performance in the gym. When we're doing a body recomposition, the goal is to change the range of body fat to muscle and swing it in the balance of your favor that makes you look like a god, to tell you the truth. So what you want to do is keep food as high as you can for as long as you can, if the situation will let you. Now, this is the first transformation where I'm going to show you how you progress the calories down and leave output fairly low, because that is what needed to have been done with his lifestyle. Normally, I'm a big advocate. If this is your second time watching the channel, you know I'm all for pushing activity, keep food as high as you can. We didn't really have that option, but luckily, he didn't come in a bad position where I could still start food quite high and gradually bring it down, allowing that drive for gym floor performance in the gym. The program we've got is one that I speak about on this channel quite regularly. It's a 5-day training split with 2 rest days coming in after the 3rd day of training and the 5th day of training. So we've got push, where we will hit 3 chest exercises, 2 delts and 2 tricep. Then into pull, which is 4 back and 2 bicep. Legs is 2 quad, 1 hamstring and glute, and also then calf exercise as well. Chest and back, which is after your rest day, it's going to be 3 push, 3 pull exercises, and then giving arms and delts its own focus, being 4 arm exercises and 3 delt exercises, with abs being supplemented on 2 of those training days. Zero cardio to start with. He didn't really have time in the beginning, but could get the steps in just through the fact of he naturally got those steps in anyway, so we just started with high output. The time frame I envisioned it would take was 10 weeks. It did end up taking 10 weeks because he was a very diligent individual, and we'll go on to what he did well in order to get the result in this time frame as we got to the result. Now, when you have this start point, you will track your data for a week. What does that mean? It means you're going to weigh yourself daily. It means you can take photos every week. It means you're going to track your nutrition every day to know you hit this target and the breakdown of macros that it will come down to. You track your steps and you hit that target, and you track your sleep and you hit that target. You want to track all the data for a week, and it will give you a certain result. And what that looks like is you will assess at the end of the week if progress was made, which in the first week, and it probably will be for you as well, in the first week, you will see a good solid bit of progress. Don't make any changes. Continue to rinse that formula, that plan out until it doesn't. And because it will work for a good week or two and then it won't. And you need to make a change. Now, because we started food high and output was not something we wanted to use just yet, we pulled from food in the first instance, removing from fats 140 calories. I won't go into the individual macros, but generally speaking, if you want to know, I would always keep carbs as high as you possibly can. And maybe even I would want carbs to stay higher than protein. Carbs will come down slightly, but honestly, if we think about it, your biggest retainer and builder for muscle tissue will be the stimulus you can put on it in the gym. You can eat all the chicken breast in the world. It will not grow you muscle. That's a fact, isn't it? So if you can train really fucking hard, you will build and retain tissue. What will help you train really hard? Carbohydrates, because they are our biggest driving factors for energy. So we then did that. And then rolling into so we saw actually only a half a kg drop after week 2. We then added in our first bit of cardio that would stay in, and we knew we didn't have the window to up it much more than that. But this was going to be something that we did achieve daily. When I say daily, it's you've got 20 minutes times 7 per week. You will then get that in how you see fit. If it's a 5-day training split, you've technically 2 rest days. You could get to the gym on the other days and just break that down into 2 sit-ins. It depends on your lifestyle, and that's what we did there. Now, you'll notice that I'm making changes every week. It's not always like that. In previous results I've posted, we don't need to make changes as often. But where we're aim for something in a shorter time frame, we've got to make it progressive. Bang, 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 bang. Because we've got to keep that body adapting week in, week out. This works if you're already kind of lean. This would not work if you had a fucking 20 kilos to knock off you. And you wouldn't need to tell you the truth, because you'd be 30% body fat trying to come down to 10. We could pull a lever and we'll be able to max out for about 3 weeks. And then after that, we then pull another lever and it'll last a week or two. Another lever, and you keep going like that. The leaner you are, the more progressive and sharp you have to be with this to hit the nail on the head. So we then roll from there, having added 20 minutes of cardio. A week after that, we decreased calories by 134. We got a good result and didn't need to make changes after week 5. We then over really the halfway mark here. Decreased calories again, our biggest amount to come down by 166. And again, these aren't drastic amounts. Don't ever take it more than like 200 calories in one sitting unless you're starting high. Like if I start a dieting phase, you can whack a shit ton of calories off because I'm eating an absolute boatload in an off season. After that, we didn't need to make changes going into week 7, which was a bold move because we only had a few weeks left. And I was like, no, we've seen some good results. Let's ride this and let's go again. We then opted in week 8 to remove 90 calories and to just push the activity a touch more for what would have been only 14 days, so nothing too drastic. And then into week 9, we then removed another 90 calories. And that was what we did on a weekly basis. This is how we progressed it down. Without quickly working out the numbers, I think it's around 600 calories which we took off. I believe he was on 18 something by the time we finished. I've not tallied up the numbers to tell you the truth. I think that's what the maths work out at. So not too drastic, and that's something you can absolutely work with. Remember, you never want to go below your RMR with your calories, but you do want to progressively move it down. So this is with the progress we made. And then this was the result we got off the back of it. So you may ask, how did he add, or how did he, really develop some good tissue? Honestly, he trained like an absolute demon. He was so diligent with his training. What I get clients to do is they'll send me form clips. So this is a video of you training on the gym floor, because I want you to train in a certain way. I want you to train with full range of motion, correct tempo, correct arm path, and fucking intensity. If you train like that, honestly, you will grow. It's really not science. Because whilst you're progressively decreasing the calories and getting leaner, you're progressively beating whatever you did last time. You either got another rep, added a little bit more load, your tempo was, even let's say you couldn't progress those two, but your tempo was better. your range of motion was a little bit further. So that you've either got more time spent doing the exercise or more distance travelled. And if nothing else, you perfected your arm path. So your ability to stretch and shorten the origin insertion was more efficient, therefore more tension went onto the working muscle. You could have lifted the same load for the same reps, with the same distance travelled, with the same time under tension, but if you just move your arm slightly in a different position, you put that little bit more tension onto the working muscle and got the result from it. And that is progress. And he did that week in, week out. He sent me form clips with his check-in. Literally, like, I say a minimum of 4. This guy literally sent me every workout at least 3 or 4 from that given workout. I had loads to work with, loads to perfect, nail it in. And after a week or two, we fixed the arm path, and I'm just looking, is intensity there? Is intensity there? Week after week after week, he was still sending it with intensity. And this is the beauty of, if you're only starting at 15% body fat, you only need to diet down for around 10, 12, max 14 weeks. You can still send it in the gym with food decreasing because you've not been in a deficit that long. You've really not, so you're actually in a pretty good space. So that alone, remember, gym floor performance, the biggest driving factor for retaining and building tissue. If you nail that right, which obviously we get you doing, this is the result you can get. And if people don't have results like this, it's honestly just because you're not training hard enough. It's the long and short of it. And honestly, it hurts my ego to say this, but for years, I was not training hard enough. And I could look back at my physique and I was like, I just can't seem to build muscle. If I could pull him by the ear now, younger me, and be like, listen, motherfucker, look, here's 5 things, go and apply these and watch your physique blow up. And funnily enough, we start to grow. So honestly, and this is the long and short of it. This is how you get the results. So yeah, and this is nice. So he finished up at 10% body fat, visible clean cut abs, nice striations between the delts there, nice veins popping through, which is always cool to see. 64 kilos. So I only actually needed to shed off 5 kg. And when you are doing a recomp and you're only 15% body fat, you shouldn't really see massive drop in terms of scale weight. A lot of the results I post where they look quite small in the beginning, but a little bit of fat, the scale weight shouldn't be drastically different. It's not like you needed to drop 20 kg. So it actually should be pretty sweet from that perspective. Now, that's all the data and the intricate details. Let's go into what he personally did well and what you can take away from it. What he did well is his schedule was jam-fucking-packed. So he had to train at 4:30 every day. This guy, so straight away you're starting to get a picture of what this guy was like. This guy was already an athlete. With how I approach training clients and the mentality of the gorilla platoon, he was very, very fun to take a hold of because this guy already wants to be disciplined. He just needed channeling in the right place. Why did he train so early? We had work to go to, and then he was also doing studying for his next line of career after that, after work, with exams coming up whilst dieting. So this is a guy that had to be on his point. And I've made a video in the past about how to sort your routine out. And some motherfuckers are like, oh, you didn't need to make a video about this. This is common sense. I honestly don't think it is common sense. This guy wrote everything out he needed to do the night before and then ticked it off the next day. This is everything I need to do. Bang, 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 bang. And he did that consistently for 10 weeks. And that's why he was able to get the result he did. Because he was so consistent. And this is one of the 3 main pillars I tell you need to develop in order to get the physique and also anything else you want out of life. If you can develop discipline to do the thing daily that is uncomfortable you don't want to do, that's one thing. If you can build consistency, your ability to do the point 1 again and again and again and again and again, you'll be in a sweet spot, but life will come and try and fuck you in the ass, let's be honest. So you need to be able to develop and showcase resilience and actually welcome it with open arms when life tries to bend you over and be like, no. This is not how I see my self-image. I am better than this. I am stroking a six-pack nearly. I will not fall to this, of course. So you get to show resilience in being consistent and disciplined to the plan of what you are and say no to that thing. So honestly, if we can develop these 3 character traits in you can take whatever physique you want because you deserve it, because you will be the guy that will continue to do the things day after day. As a result, your body will just morph into a fucking lean, nice physique. Because you deserve the thing, and then beautifully there you can take those and then go and use that in your everyday life. It works for work, it works for relationships. It's just the mentality, and that's really what this whole thing is about. The vehicle is the result, is the physique. What we're really trying to develop is those 3 character traits. He also, as I spoke about form clips, the reason we got the the result we did from a muscle perspective was honestly his just ability to send in form clips and milk me for the knowledge I had inside my head. So big shout out there. He was not lazy with it. He was not lazy with tracking. He was not lazy with the data. He was not lazy with check-ins. His check-ins were always in early, so I did them early, and we had a very good relationship like that. So forward thinking was always planning ahead. These two coming together, the ability to suck it up with the suffering, that goes back to the resilience piece. So he was practicing for exams, working, running a family, doing this, that, and the other, and was still able to take it in his stride when I took food off him, when I increased output, when I said, come on, let's fucking get after it, let's push. And he was starting to get on the ropes towards the back end, because he was, again, resilience. But it worked, and it got him to that end point, and he got the result he was looking for. So a very, very good client, honestly. If you come to me and act the way he did, we'll get a fucking corker of a result after you. Of course we will. But that will be everything we need to discuss for this video. If you found useful, subscribe. If you didn't, don't. It's absolutely fair enough. And if you want to work specifically with me, there'll be links in the description, but no pressure. And I'll see you tomorrow.